So sometimes you have to accept the inevitable and change your plans. My original goal was to ride the east and west coasts of Florida and eventually make my way into the panhandle. And I've already made it about 3/4 of the way around Florida's coast so far. But I've got two situations that I've got to accept and adapt to. First is that there are brewing storms in the southeast with recent tornadoes in Mississippi and storm fronts approaching the panhandle of Florida. Riding in the rain is no fun, but sometimes it's inevitable, as we'll see a little bit later. The second situation is that I injured my foot, and it creates a little bit of an unstable situation for me stopping and starting where I cannot put my full weight on my foot. Although generally okay, I worry about emergency situations and being able to handle those in a safe manner. Therefore, I've made the decision to start traveling northeast back to the east coast of the U.S. and eventually make my way back to Charleston. This episode will begin that journey and transition across Florida back to the East Coast. I'll eventually have to find a place to stay, since I'll break the trip up into 2 days before returning to Charleston. So let's get the bike ready and get on the road. As I begin to approach Jacksonville, I need to make a decision about where I'm going to stay for the night. After looking at the map and the various options, I decide on going to the small town of St. Mary's, Georgia. This is a beautiful little town located on the St. Mary's River that's also very close to Cumberland Island. It's a pretty small town, and in reviewing hotel options, there are a couple of bed and breakfast. I do find one that I've booked, and I make my way toward St. Mary's, Georgia. Well, I made it into St. Mary's, Georgia, just a little bit earlier. The bike ran very well. It was about a 4.5 hour ride up from Crystal River, where I stayed yesterday. Beautiful ride up through the country, good temperatures, so it was really very pleasant. And I tried to avoid the interstate as much as possible, but still some of the roads were pretty fast, and 65 mile an hour speed limit, so that really went well, and bike did great. So Waterfront's right down here. We've got basically 3 blocks. Very quaint little town. I saw this tree here and I wanted to stop and let you see it, because we saw a lot of this on the drive this morning and in some of the other areas. And one of the things that the Southeast and also Florida is known for is something called Spanish moss. And there's a pile of brush here I just want to get a piece of this Spanish moss and let you take a look at it. It gets its nutrients from air, but it needs a parasitic host, which are all these hardwoods typically.